station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is a space station. Ready for the event.
Houston, ACR. This is Mission Control Center. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
Houston ACR, I hear you loud and clear.
I'm Dan Barstow, Senior Education Manager for the ISS National Lab. In a moment, students will ask you questions, Chris. But first, let's celebrate a milestone, the 20th anniversary of students doing their own experiments on the ISS. Over 1 million students have controlled robots, photographed Earth, grown plants, and even launched satellites. This is one of the great success stories of the ISS. A big thanks to all. But let's get on with the student questions.
Hi, my name is Isabella Jacobson and I'm from California. My question is, what are some of your favorite experiments that you've conducted in space?
Hi, Isabella. Most recently, I've worked with a couple kind of cool ones. One, identifying microbes that are around here. In my previous time on board the space station, we would sample and send those samples back to Earth. Now, we are bringing on the capability to take those samples and analyze them immediately and get results back right away. Another really neat one that I was working with just this morning was called droplet formation, and that has to do with, it studies the formation of droplets in zero gravity, and the application there is potentially more water efficient faucets and shower heads. So kind of cool, with a very applicable thing back on Earth. One which I'm very much looking forward to, by the way, is a nice shower.
Hi, my name is Adi Sanawain and I'm from Florida. And I have a question pertaining to bone and muscle deficiencies in a microgravity environment. So how does research aboard the International Space Station on these phenomena contribute to research on similar deficiencies on Earth?
Well, if we did no exercise or paid no attention to our bone density here in zero gravity, we would be our bone density would be severely decayed when we get back. So it's a very important thing for us to study. And we've learned that weighted load-bearing exercise on your large muscles, your legs, your bottom, your back, and good health and nutrition, staying hydrated, all those things are key. But the main ingredient to good bone health is keeping your bones loaded up. Much like a person who's bedridden has the same effect because they're not able to exercise, put load on their bones, and we need to do the same thing when we're up here.
Hi, my name is Shane Druskowski, and I'm from Menominee, Wisconsin. My question is, how do the space simulations you do in training compare to being in space, such as your training in the Neutral Buoyancy Lab compared to an EVA in orbit?
Well, space is an interesting thing because unlike most professions where you can train exactly what you're going to do before you do it, we don't have that luxury. We can't exactly simulate the environment in Houston, so we need to use various methods, one of which is the Neutral Buoyancy Lab that you just described for doing spacewalks, and that is an amazing simulator. The weightlessness, we really can get a feel for it. We understand what things are going to be troublesome and what things might be easier in zero gravity than in a gravity environment. And we also use a virtual reality laboratory for robotics and moving large masses of the space station around. So it's really a combination of all those things that you piece together to make a pretty darn good method of training. We all feel very well prepared by the time we get here. That being said, there's nothing that can replace the fact the first time you open the hatch and look down at Earth zipping by you. That view doesn't exist in a swimming pool.
Hi, my name is Chandra from Florida, and my question is, what is a lab on a chip or tissue chip, and how does it work on the ISS?
Well, I haven't used a whole lot personally of that experiment up here, but it's a small chip about the size of maybe your fingernail, or maybe as large as a credit card. And on those chips are three-dimensional human cells, and that's much more effective way of studying this than a two-dimensional cell that we can grow on Earth.
Hi, my name is Will, and I'm from Virginia. My question is, I'm on a team that's working to develop a pillow that will make sleep in microgravity easier. It will also collect data on how much carbon dioxide is in the air. What other features could we add that you think would be the most helpful?
Well, that's a good question. I think a Bluetooth receiver in the pillow with some small speakers would be super helpful, because I'm alone on the U.S. side of the space station right now. My two crew colleagues are a little bit of ways away at night, sleeping in their crew quarters, and the alarm system is not super loud once you close your door and you're isolated in your crew quarters. The speaker is wired into my cabin, but when I sleep really soundly, I worry sometimes that I could sleep through an alarm. And in fact, one time I have. So I think some kind of small speaker embedded into the pillow, maybe it's around your neck or something like this, would give me a lot of peace of mind, knowing that it's tied into the alarm system and any communication I won't miss.
Hi, my name is Jake Randazzo. I'm from Missouri, and my question to you is, in space, are your senses different? Do things taste different or smell different?
No, for me, I don't like mushrooms on Earth, and I don't like mushrooms here. And the same kind of food I love on Earth, I love here. And so I haven't found it to be any different. One thing that is kind of fun is the way in which we drink it. It's the moisture in the food that makes it easy to eat with a spoon. Things that are difficult to eat are like flaky rice, dry rice, that sort of thing. But in terms of my taste and my sense of smell, I feel like that's all kind of the same as it is on Earth.
Hi, my name is Auni Sonowane, and I am from Florida. My question is, how does stem cell therapy and microgravity make the growth of the stem cells faster?
Well, that's a great question, one of which that I am by far super knowledgeable on. But suffice to say that our stem cell research up here is cutting edge, just like anywhere else in a cutting edge laboratory on Earth. The difference is we can add that element of zero gravity. You know, I need to do a little more research myself to really give you a deep scientific answer. But I know that it's something that we're very excited about having on board the International Space Station.
Hi there, Commander. My name is Audie, and I am from Georgia. I understand you've been on a few spacewalks, and on your first spacewalk, you've replaced batteries on P6 truss. My question here is, how are the old batteries disposed of or recycled safely on the space station?
Well, that's a great question. Like you said, on my first spacewalk in 2009, we replaced batteries on the P6 truss. And that time, we had the luxury of having the space shuttle, and we put the failed batteries right back into the shuttle and returned them to Earth. Just a few weeks ago, my friend Bob and I conducted battery changeouts on the starboard 6 truss, and those batteries, some of the no longer used ones we left outside, and some we put on a pallet that will be inserted into the HTV, which is a cargo ship provided by our Japanese colleagues, and those batteries will burn up in the atmosphere along with the rest of the HTV cargo. So there's kind of a mix of how we do it. We're not reusing any of those old batteries. They're just kind of temp stowed in a few locations where we can keep them out of the way.
Hi, my name is Joshua, and I live in Miami, Florida. My question is, do you enjoy watering and caring for the plants on ISS, or would you rather have an automated system that does everything for you? Thanks!
Well, fortunately, we do have automated systems. The few plant experiments that I've been a part of, the equipment takes care of all that. We don't have to go around and stick a water hose into there. The rack, the scientific rack, provides the nutrients, it provides the lighting, it provides the air circulation, oxygen, as well as the water. So that's pretty. It's a pretty self-contained experiment. We change out the cells. We might clean it at the end of an experiment, but largely it's self-contained inside of the scientific rack.
Hi, my name is Danny Kaplan. I'm from Miami, Florida. My question is, what have the plant experiments on the International Space Station taught you about how plants might be involved in future space exploration?
Well, there's a couple ways to answer that. This is just my personal opinion. I think plants signify life, and it would be kind of nice to have. It is kind of nice to have a few things growing up here, if nothing else, just to periodically check on them and see how their progress is going. And it's a little bit of a morale boost and we talk about that as crewmates. Oh, did you see that there's a little leaf blooming or something poking up out of the soil? And that's kind of fun for us. In the longer term, if you can produce it on a large enough scale, it might be able to even provide nutrition for future crews, perhaps going to the moon or Mars. I don't think on the International Space Station we could create enough to really truly feed the crew. We'll leave that to the logistical experts in Houston to continue getting us our food. But it's exciting and a little bit of a morale boost to see something else with life besides you and your crewmates on board the International Space Station.
Hi, I'm Liliana Perrin, and I'm from Florida. My question is, are you doing any experiments for cancer research?
Well, we are. Protein crystals are the main thing there. And again, this is not my area of expertise, but the research going into these protein crystals is very applicable to cancer research on Earth. And so we're excited to provide a little bit of extra knowledge to that very, very important aspect of our medical research.
Hi, I'm Kyla from Winthrop Academy in Florida. My question is, since astronauts' bodies are accustomed to Earth's surface, are new microgravity projects and stimulations under development for new space system research? Thanks.
That was a little difficult to hear. I have the question off to the side, but are new microgravity projects and simulations under development for new... Yes, we are always looking for ways to train astronauts and train crews and prepare for spaceflight. So we have one device in particular that I worked a lot with prior to coming on this mission. It's a system called Argos. That's an acronym, but essentially what it is about a 10 meter by 10 meter cube in one of our big training buildings, and inside there's mechanical, essentially a robotic system that can maneuver the subject in the X and Y, and then there's a long pneumatic piston-like device or suspension mechanism that suspends the astronaut, and then that can position the person up and down. So within this 10 by 10 by 10 volume, we can very much mimic zero gravity, and that was very helpful in some recent spacewalk developments that we did over the last couple years to couple that training environment with the pool, and we really could fine-tune some of our tools and equipment. So it's things like that we're always looking for, adding technology to our kit bag of training activities.
Hi, my name is Jack Terrell. I'm from Pennsylvania. My question is, how have experiments conducted on the ISS expanded our knowledge of theoretical physics and helped to solve quandaries like dark matter and dark energy?
Boy, that's a pretty big question. And the short answer is we're looking to push the frontier of knowledge in any aspect, in any area of science that a researcher can get science up here. And we are super excited to be a part of all that. And the more smart kids like you grow up to be scientists that maybe you think of an experiment that we can conduct, that is going to collectively push the boundaries of our knowledge and ultimately get us to the moon, to Mars, and on a terrestrial level, improve all of the technologies and scientific information knowledge that we have currently in the Earth, on Earth right now.
Hi, my name is Mira Rizek, and I'm from Virginia. My question is, do you think that the creation of new and automated space vehicles could result in less training needed to go to space?
Well, automation certainly is a tool that helps us a lot on board the space station and in space, well, in life in general, whether you're on Earth or up here. Automation is kind of ubiquitous in our lives, and it truly does help us out. Now, can we eliminate training? That's a $1 million question that we're often trying to figure out. Like, how do we streamline? What's the most important things that astronauts need to know? We always need to know how to react to an emergency, how to fight a fire, a depressurization if it happens, some kind of bad substance in our atmosphere. All of those things we need to know by heart, by rote, on how to react, how to respond, what's the right thing to do. And then there's a certain baseline knowledge of just the environment you're in, the systems of the space station, so that we can provide accurate information to the engineers and subject matter experts on the ground. But if they're not available, we're armed with enough knowledge to make smart decisions in dealing with these contingencies and emergencies. The daily life, the routine things that are not emergencies, that are just things that we have to do all the time, automation is absolutely a help and can decrease training. But at the core level, I believe that an astronaut always needs to understand what's happening inside their spacecraft, even if a robotic or an automated process is taking care of that for you.
Hi, my name is Jillian Kaplan, and I'm from Miami, Florida. My question is, if you were to grow any food plant on the International Space Station, what would it be?
If I could grow any food on the International Space Station, what would it be? It would be chocolate chip cookies. Oh, wait a minute, you can't grow those. I'm not so sure I would pick to grow a food. I think it would be very nice to have some green things here. Like I mentioned earlier in a previous question, it symbolizes life. So maybe a plant, maybe a flower in a few places where we can pass by them periodically throughout the day and kind of spruce up a very kind of sterile environment that we have right now. As you can see, it's all about work, which is great. But I think that adding a plant, a flower, something that we could almost treat like a pet would be something that I would choose to grow and not eat it.
Thanks so much, Chris. Great answers to great questions. One more note. Today, NASA launches Celebrating Station Science, a year-long program to help students use the ISS to learn and explore even more. So on behalf of those space station explorers, we look forward to many more years to come. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes our event.
Thank you to all participants from the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.